Imagine a world where trade barriers ripple across the globe. Not just disrupting markets, but also everyday lives. That's the concern today, as US President Trump's unprecedented tariff barrage echo history's most infamous protectionist experiment. Here are the numbers, the risks, and what it could mean for India and the US. India's bilateral trade with the US hit $132 billion in 2024 to 25. And in just the first 5 months of 2025 to 26, India has already reached nearly half of that number. But Washington now has a 50% extra tariff on imports of Indian goods after doubling rates in late August. The big question is, will this help the US economy, and how will it reshape India's trade strategies? This isn't the first time a US president has tried sweeping tariffs. History shows such moves can backfire, like with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930. That law hiked duties on over 20,000 imports, raising average rates to about 60%. Initially meant to protect farmers, but lobbying expanded it to manufactured items. The result: global retaliation and a collapse in world trade. Between 1929 and 1934, global commerce fell by nearly 2/3, worsening the Great Depression. These new tariffs are more targeted, country and product-specific, framed as tools to push for reciprocity. But economists warn that prolonged tariffs and retaliation could fragment supply chains and reduce global demand. Firms rushed shipments earlier this year to cushion the shock, but trade volumes in late 2025 and 2026 are expected to fall. The World Bank now predicts the weakest global growth since 2008, excluding recession years. Meanwhile, Indian policymakers are considering retaliatory tariffs, WTO complaints, and diversifying exports to Southeast Asia, Africa, and West Asia. Key sectors like textiles, pharmaceuticals, and IT services rely heavily on the US market. Any prolonged barriers would cost Indian exporters dearly. But this can also be an opportunity to strengthen ties with alternative markets. On the other side, American farmers face a record corn harvest but struggle to access the Indian market and deal with tariff disputes with China. Latin American and African competitors are filling orders the US once supplied. Lost market share may not easily return. Supporters of reciprocal tariffs argue they could bring in $5.2 trillion over the next decade, according to the Penn-Wharton budget model. But reduced imports, higher prices, and weaker consumer power may undermine this argument. Fewer imports mean fewer dollars flowing abroad, lowering demand for US Treasury bonds. That could tighten credit and weaken the dollar. While some exporters may benefit, imported inputs get more expensive. Uncertainty over policy discourages long-term investment. Stable trade rules have traditionally supported capital spending and supply chain confidence, but abrupt changes now risk shaking that foundation. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act stayed until 1934, when Congress passed the Reciprocal Trade Agreements Act, gradually reducing tariffs. After World War II, multilateral frameworks like GATT restored global trade, but rebuilding trust took years. The takeaway is damage from poorly calibrated tariffs can last long after they're lifted. In 2025, India finds itself at the center of a global trade experiment. Both sides must tread carefully, or history may repeat itself. Tariffs can reshape economies overnight, and the lessons from 1930 remind us that what seems like protection today can become global disruption tomorrow. For more news and updates, watch Mint News.
In a world where business never stops, Mint keeps you ahead, any screen, anytime. From studios to the ground, Mint breaks down business, leadership, and lifestyle, boldly, visually, and smartly. From boardrooms to markets, from personal wealth to industry trends, we bring you the insights that matter.
Mint is doing brilliantly well. It's a well-read page, I would think.
refutes India's biggest CEOs. Ride along and find out.
I have to work that much harder. I have to put that much more in.
Over the years.
Earlier I could say no, I can't of it.
Yeah.
But now I can.
Want to invest like the pros? Learn from India's top market experts.
Things like that worry me about markets.
I don't want to buy a house to invest.
Your money, your future. We make finance simple. Step inside breathtaking homes and the creative minds behind them.
So we are at the house in Camellias. I think Camellias is the most expensive property in the NCR and probably the most expensive in the country.
India's real estate scene decoded. No jargon, no fluff.
Home buyers will have more bargaining power.
It's a great time to buy a house as well.
Some chase success, others create it. Meet the ones who made the impossible possible.
I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. And that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it will go away.
वो ताली ऐसी थी ना, इतनी addictive थी, मैंने कहा बॉस अब तो यही होगा.
We don't just talk business, we show it. And the world's watching.